in spite of Neera Yadav, in spite of the fact that a former chief secretary was in fact sent to jail, but wouldn't that have a salutary effect? Wouldn't that actually go down the line as an IAS officer for the person sent to jail?
No, on the contrary, if the punishment is swift, it must come within 6 months of the crime. Then it is in public memory. There is no nexus between any events which took place 20 years back and the punishment meted out here. So the key aspect is rapid investigation, rapid special crack teams. It's a fact that it's not one state now. You do know every single state in India, in fact, every single department in India is now corrupt. Every single state in India.
So what is the chicken and egg, isn't it? Who makes who corrupt? Does the politician insist that the bureaucrat becomes corrupt to collect money for him, or is the bureaucrat himself corrupt? Who's
I just want to add to what he said. I was talking to one of the former chief vigilance commissioners, and he told me during his 5-year tenure, the CVC is an advisory body. I asked him, sir, please tell me in your 5-year tenure, how many times did the government accept your advice? He said, whenever I asked for permission for prosecution, it was never granted. Whenever I asked for a major penalty, that means the officer should be dismissed, he was let off with a warning. So the chief vigilance commissioner is saying that in his 5-year tenure, whenever the officer commissioner felt that this officer needs to be either sent to jail or he needs to be dismissed, he was actually let off with a warning. So Vittal used to say, in our country, corruption is a zero risk and a very high profit business.
Right.
You know, to just add to what Mr. Subramaniam said, the bureaucrat typically facilitates the nexus between business and politics, which is really the fountainhead of corruption. I mean, you take this IAS couple in Madhya Pradesh who were found with God knows how much money. The income tax department found them, but they're still IAS officers. And I want to add something to what Mr. Soli Sorabji said. It's not just the former chief justice, not just one former chief justice. It's at least 2 former chief justices and more than 2 chief justices who's been accused of very, very serious charges. You know,
Prashant Bhushan has made that point, and of course that is under Judice and
Justice Sabharwal's sons were also operating their real estate business from his own official residence. Then they went out. I mean, it's a fact that his sons were directly involved in real estate at a time when the Supreme Court in India, sealed properties of large numbers of people, and it's common knowledge, and we know when even the media exposed this, what happened to Midday. The point is, Sagarika, whether it be the 2G spectrum scam, there is still a section of the media which is playing its role, exposing corruption in high places.
I wanted to ask you that actually. The fact is, the scams are coming out. Media is exposing the scams. It's not as if the scams are not coming out. No, if you look at the bureaucrats, they are being exposed. They are being named and shamed in other society scandal.
But on the other hand, it is because of the judiciary as an institution. Really speaking, this bureaucracy, senior bureaucracy as an institution, these are the 2 pillars of a society. In other words, on one hand, intellectual, moral, financial corruption in all these segments are going up sharply, exponentially, on the one hand. On the other hand, these are really the bulwarks of the system that we are in today. So the issue today, in my view, is not whether corruption exists or not.